Hey everybody, Sophia Prola here with the Garden State Film Festival, and joining me right now is Tom Ryan, writer, director, editor of the feature film Splinter. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sophia. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for taking some time out to talk to us. So, can you tell everybody who's watching a little bit about yourself and Splinter?
Sure. So I'm an independent filmmaker from New Jersey. Been doing it now for probably about 12 years officially. Always wanted to be a film director, and thanks to the advances in technology and digital media, I'm able to do it without having a studio or major funding, which is amazing. So Splinter is a film that's actually part of a larger anthology I've been working on since 2020. It's a sequel anthology. Back in 2019, my Theater of Terror, my production company, released a film called The Theater of Terror, and it was a four-film anthology. And this is part of the sequel, Return to the Theater of Terror. So Splinter is kind of a short feature or a long short. It's got about a 50-minute runtime. It's kind of like a thriller horror film. And if you want to know the synopsis, it's about a character named Scott Wills who moves his family into a home that he inherited from his recently deceased estranged mother. And when he moves into that home, he gets a splinter and he starts to learn some secrets about his family's past, about the history of the town, and the reasons why his mother abandoned him at a very early age with his aunt and uncle.
Wow, yes, very unexpected ending. We will not give anything away in this interview, but we are going to pick your brain about how you made it. First
Sure.
question is, where did you come up with the idea?
So the original story was written by a good friend and one of our producers, Todd Staruch. Todd, it was trying to go out on his own and kind of make some films, and Splinter was to be his debut film. But it was a big idea, and he wasn't really confident that it would turn out the way that he intended. And when he shared the story with me, I really loved it. And because the Theater of Terror production company, we'd kind of been doing it for a while, and we knew the ropes. I encouraged him to allow us to put it under our umbrella. I worked on a screenplay for it, adapted it for screen, and he and I kind of bounced some ideas back about how to develop that, and we really liked the direction it was going in. And so we brought it under our umbrella. We were able to do it on a bigger scale. And yeah, it was a story. A lot of the characters are named after people in Todd's life, and yeah, it was great. He loves the screen adaptation of the film and has no regrets that we made it under the Theater of Terror banner. So that was the birth of the film.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can't see why he would have any regrets. It came out amazing. And you
Thank
said
you.
this is going to be, is this the first of the sequel, or this is the sequel?
Well, there's four stories. It's
Okay.
actually supposed to be like the second in the four stories. The other stories are significantly shorter. They're about 20 minutes long to 22 minutes long.
Okay.
So we're not sure if the placement as the second story in the film is going to work or if it's going to be a little clumsy because of the runtime. But I'm still confident that we're going to make it a part of the anthology because it fits in so well with, it's a real diverse group of films. The first film that opens the anthology is a black and white throwback to like the Universal monster movies, shot in a big castle, Kip's Castle in Verona, New Jersey, and in Bloomfield College. So it's really that throwback. It kind of takes place in the 1960s, 50s. We're really not specific about that, but that's the beginning film. And then we also followed up Splinter with a short film called Robot, which is very much like an 80s popcorn sci-fi film. So they're all very different, and Splinter definitely fits into that family of diversity, and that's why we love it so much. We want to include it in that package.
Wow. Are you always drawn to like these obscure kind of like horror? I don't know if you'd consider this a horror, but this type of genre of films?
I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits and Tales from the Dark Side and Tales from the Crypt and Amazing Stories and any anthology that you could name, that was really kind of more generated stories that were character driven and suspenseful, with these really powerful twist endings that would kind of leave your gut wrenched at the end. Those are really my favorite. I like gory films and stuff as well, but I'm really drawn towards those suspenseful stories that draw you in and then punch you in the gut right at the end. I love it, and that's the kind of stuff I love to make.
Wow, I'm guessing that was, yeah, the inspiration for Splinter because it sounds a lot like that.
Yeah.
How long did it take to film to really do Splinter, the pre-production filming process and post?
Yeah, so the pre-production was probably a couple of months, securing locations, cast and crew, and that kind of thing. I do really well in advance. I mean, Splinter might have been cast almost a year before we started shooting. For a lot of these stories, I have actors in mind that I really love to work with. I kind of throw out that fishing line to kind of see what they think. I always send everyone the scripts. We meet. Everyone loved the story. They wanted to be a huge, part of it. They thought it was a great opportunity. Um, as far as shooting went, I think it was maybe roughly 6 to 7 days of shooting.
Oh,
We're really efficient on set. Yeah,
yeah, that's a lot
yeah,
to film in
we're
6 to 7 days.
yeah, yeah, we really put our nose to the grind on that one, and yeah, it didn't take us as long as you would think, or as long as you would imagine based upon what's on the screen. But it was some grueling. There were some grueling long days on that. As you know, there's some heavy special effects work in the film as well, so that kind of stuff always just naturally takes time.
Right. And can you speak on the visual effects that you have in this? Who was your artist and how did you guys
Absolutely.
get the look?
Yeah, absolutely. I had the dynamic duo of Beatrice Sniper and Michael Scardillo. And Michael Scardillo made all the prosthetics for the film. And him and I were just coordinating for months before we shot ideas, the looks, the textures, the colors. And Beatrice is an amazing artist as well. And I really love working with the two of them. And it was great to have them both on set together, because I knew that if anything went wrong, we always had one or the other there to save the day and help us out. And we actually did run into a little issue where Mike could not be on set for a couple of days due to what he thought was a COVID infection. And it broke my heart because he had worked so hard for months, and we shot these really big scenes without him being on set. And Beatrice was able to apply a lot of the prosthetics that Mike had made. And at the end of the weekend, after shooting it, Mike came back and his test was negative, and he could have been there all weekend. But
But
we
he
just
was
kind of played it
safe.
safe.
It's
Yeah, he
hard
wanted
to,
to play it
yeah.
safe and everything. Yeah, and it was devastating when we found out about it. But Mike, at the private casting crew screening of the film, there was so much adoration showering on Mike about the effects and the way that they turned out, that he really kind of became emotional about it, because people absolutely loved it. And I think that was the big payoff for him. So not being there hurt, but seeing the final product and getting the feedback from the audience was amazing. It's amazing.
Wow, absolutely. And so you filmed this during the pandemic, clearly.
We
How did
did.
that affect your shoot? Especially you got so much done. You had a lot of locations, a lot of actors. How were you able
Yeah,
to accomplish
yeah.
all of that?
It was just a lot of communication, and we kind of treated everyone as adults, and we felt if everybody felt safe, if everybody felt confident that they were healthy and able to participate, we weren't going to let anything stop us. We were all really hungry to kind of get to it. The first short that we had shot of the anthology, we had finished right before the lockdown began. We had no idea the lockdown was coming. We finished shooting, and so I kind
Wow.
of used the beginning of the lockdown to edit and
Mhm.
do a lot of that pre-production work for Splinter. And then I guess it was kind of like in the middle of the lockdown, I just started reaching out. And I says, "What do you guys want to do? I'd love to get this done." And we just a lot of communication, and luckily we had absolutely no incidents, and we were able to shoot, and everybody was there on schedule, and everybody was healthy, and we had a great deal of fun doing it. And in hindsight, I'm so glad we did it and pursued it, and didn't kind of err on the side of caution, which I know in some cases it's smart. I guess for us, we just love making movies, and we wanted to get to it.
Oh, so what is the what did you learn most about directing Splinter? What was the best part of the directing process? Or the whole filming
Wow,
process,
I've
I
been
guess. You were there
directing
for all
films
of it.
for yeah, I've been directing films for a while, independent films. So I don't know that I got anything new out of directing, but for me, what I always get out of directing, every new project, is I just love working with actors, crew members, effects artists, writers, producers. I love when we kind of coordinate our thoughts together and come to set and the magic starts happening. The whole experience, it's a lot of pressure, it's very difficult, and I think I kind of thrive on that stuff. It's weird. It's like you really don't look forward to that kind of pressure, and then once you're in the middle of it, it's just something that I just take a hold of, and I love it. And what I always learn is that there are tons of extremely talented people out there that are not on marquees. Their names are not on the marquees or in the credits of multi-billion-dollar films, but they have just as much talent as the top professionals that are living on top of Hollywood Hills. There are some amazing people in this community, in the independent film community. And every time I make a new independent film, I get to meet someone new. I get to befriend some of these people. We maintain relationships throughout. And that is the best part of making these films, is meeting these super uber talented people that just, maybe they just don't have the exposure that someone else does, but it doesn't take away from what they're capable of doing. And they prove it every time we make another film. I meet another one like that, or more, multiple people like that.
I could not agree more. I think film is such an amazing collaboration, and like so many people's art and minds and ideas contribute to that. So that's great. I love to hear you say that. To wrap up this interview, I'd love to ask you how you heard about the Garden State Film Festival. If you know us well, how does it feel having Splinter at the 20th anniversary this year?
It's amazing. It's amazing because the 20th anniversary is such a landmark for a film festival. You have a lot of fly-by-night festivals that last for a few years and they disappear. Garden State's been around for a long time. I've attended the festival numerous times. I did have a short film from my previous anthology in the festival. I guess it was about 3 years or 4 years ago. And when I saw the lengths that the organizers go to make filmmakers feel like we're in the middle of Hollywood and like it's this huge production on the red carpets of the Oscars or whatever. It's just so much fun, and you meet so many great people. It's so well organized. It's so professional. It's just an amazing, amazing film festival. And the fact that we're in the 20th anniversary is just a huge honor for me because it's such a special event. And we're all coming out of this pandemic and people are dying to get together and party and enjoy independent films and hug and high five.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the company of everyone. And this is the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. I'm just so honored that Splinter's a part of that. We all worked very hard on the film. And so it's just, it's just everything. This is the climax for us as filmmakers. Like, this is where we want to be. And it's just amazing. I'm just so pleased.
I love to hear the passion. I love that you're returning to the Garden State Film Festival. I'm not surprised you had another film there. I hope you continue to submit all of these anthologies or the projects that you'll have in the future to the Garden State Film Festival, because I love it. It's like a family. I love seeing people come back.
It is.
Oh, that's great. Well, Tom, it has been a pleasure talking to you today. Let me tell everybody who's watching how they can see Splinter, because they gotta see it in person on the big screen especially. It will be playing virtually, but if you want to see it on the big screen, it will be screening at the Asbury Hotel in the Asbury Hall, Saturday, March 26th in the Film Block, 8:15 to 10:30 p.m. Ooh, seeing this at Saturday night on the big screen, that's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, great. Tom, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Congratulations to you and everyone involved.
Thank you.
Best of luck in the rest of
that.
and everything that you do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.